All right, welcome. Sunrise, can you see it? Maybe not, there's a plane coming in. All right, topic of the video, fenders. Talk a lot about fenders, so I figured I'd talk a little bit about my fenders. So like everything I talk about with products, this is not sponsored in any way. It's about as honest as it gets, just my own personal use. So I'm going to try and talk about kind of the experience of the fenders and not focus on these specific ones. These are from a brand called SKS. I think they're called the Longboard Fenders. So they are what's considered full coverage. So you can see how far the fender goes, almost all the way to the bottom. Most front fenders you'll find might go to about here. Maybe they'll go to about here. This one has the extra mud flap, so it does a really good job of protecting the drivetrain from any spray that comes. The chain needs a cleaning, as you can see. On the back, you can see full coverage again, all the way over here. So this keeps my back dry, my bag dry, and keeps any other cyclists that are behind me dry as well. So SKS Longboard Fenders, plastic fenders. So it means they can flex a little bit. I'll come back to this in a minute. So fenders, most of them, conventional I would say, will have a mounting point here. And then kind of in the bridge, just trying to make sure I can see. So you can kind of see there's a bit of a mount goes in here. On the back, these ones are kind of on the inside, little eyelets here. And then you can see this mounting over here and over here. So if you have a touring bike, commuter bike, what I'll call a practical bike, should have eyelets like these for fenders. There's lots of other styles. There's some fenders that will mount to your down tubes. Some will mount to like the fork, they kind of clamp on. Usually for much tighter bikes, tighter clearances I mean. So these fenders, pretty pleased. They kind of advertise this connection here, so if you'll notice it's got this plastic bit. The idea is that if something gets caught, it'll break off. But I mean, if something gets caught in the wheel, it'll probably get into the fork, right? So, I don't know. Haven't had to test it. Installing fenders is kind of finicky sometimes, but basically you're putting this in here, putting that in there, then adjusting these, cutting them. They got some plastic covers. It can take a while. These fenders are pretty good. They're plastic. You can get metal ones. The only thing with these ones, if you look, these are my studded tires. I did a video on studded tires. So you can see the clearance. Let's see, maybe this is a better view to just get an idea of how much clearance there is. So with these fenders and this tire, if I hit a bump, sometimes this will flex. I can kind of hear it rubbing sometimes if I'm going quickly over a bumpy road. So this tip has fallen off a couple times. It doesn't happen with my normal tires, just because they don't have the metal studs to kind of scrape, I guess, so it's not as noisy. Plastic is good and light. Metal fenders, more durable, perhaps more classic. Plastic is good because it rattles less. So if you have metal fenders, this part here can rattle a fair bit. If your fenders have a rattle, you can use an inner tube to basically go between the whatever this thing is called in the actual fender. So there's any vibration, it'll dampen it. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with these. I think these are good because they give you the full coverage. So if you're gonna get fenders, you're gonna commute a lot, especially in the rain, you want full coverage. These, I have to be careful when I'm jumping curbs or going on rough terrain, which I sometimes do. So I'm kind of worried about this getting clipped. It's happened a couple times, but luckily I've been going slow. And yeah, fenders, so important for a commuter, especially if you're going to be riding in the rain. So, time for me to get going, I guess. Thanks for watching. Feel free to share, like, subscribe if you haven't, and feel free to comment. Cycle Commuter out.